Come on, dumbass, play it.
Check this out. Yeah! You're gonna die!
That was cool, Beavis.
Okay, hey everybody.
Whoa! This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Alright, so I've been working on the Chibson guitars lately, and this one is going to be no different than any of the other Chibson videos that I've been making. Anyways, I'm going to show you a little bit about what I've been doing and how I've been doing it with the blue, I think it's probably a Blueberry Burst maybe, Chibson guitar. And first off, as you can see, I already removed the tuners. So let's get into a little bit about the stock tuners that come on these Chibson guitars. Don't be fooled by them. Alright, so we're looking at the headstock of the Chibson. I have the made in so-and-so covered because some people get a little bit bent out of shape when they see that. So right now you're looking at the back of the headstock, and right where the tuner pegs would be, on an actual Gibson guitar, you would see ears glued on, pieces of wood glued on each side over here. And then you would see the holes drilled into that, or partially into that, and there are no ears on here. So that's one thing about the Chibsons, even including on that guitar over there, it's the same way. There are no ears glued on each side of the headstock. So let's get into what the original part of this video was going to be about, the tuners. Alright, so let's talk about Chinese copy tuners. As you can see here, I have a pile of Chinese Grovers, which in some cases, maybe if you want to leave them on your guitar, that's fine if you want to. I prefer not to, because they don't hold tune very well, and they're pretty shitty as far as quality goes all the way around. Now, just turning it a little bit like this, you can kind of feel that there is a space in the gearing. So when you start turning it, there's a space right there. And when you start to turn it all the way around, go completely around with it, you could feel like a little bit of grinding, like there's a burr on the gear on the inside, or maybe some type of foreign material inside there. Really isn't, you know, smooth compared to an actual Grover would be. Now, another thing is this cover right here. This little, that's a cover, that's a cap, it pops off. Let's see how, you know, it's not really shiny. The chrome plating is kind of hazed over a little bit, and you know, doesn't look very appealing. Another.
Wiggle it just a little bit. I want to see you wiggle it just a little bit.
Caps here. The side cap, the black cap over here, is much taller than an actual Grover would be. So I have in my hand right now a Grover, and as you can see, much shinier, much glossier, reflective finish. Does not wiggle, does not make any noise. One thing you could tell is they turn a lot more smoother, and there's no play in between the gear. Another way to tell, on a real Grover it says P.W, and in the other box it says 1. I don't know if you can see that or not. On the fake one, it just has a 1.
What?
Oh, no.
This sucks.
Yeah, me.
So the quality of these fake ones, like I said, if you chose to leave them on your guitar and you're having good luck with them, then that's fine and dandy. But I just take, you know, precaution measures and just replace them just in case there's a problem. Like I said, a lot of times I give these guitars away, and you know, I don't want the other person to be like, what the fuck is on this, what this person was thinking, you know, whatever. So that's it. These are all the fake ones. They're probably going to go in the garbage. I have a set of Grovers on the side over here that I'm going to install. So let's get on to the next part of this guitar.
This is gonna be cool.
Okay.
Wir können den Gruppenführer Fegelein nirgendwo finden. Er ist nicht in der Bunkeranlage.
Was soll das heißen? Sie können Fegelein nicht finden. Burgdorf, was ist los? Woher kommt die Schießerei?
Mein Führer, darf ich Ihnen zum Geburtstag gratulieren? Mein Führer, das Zentrum von Berlin steht unter Artilleriebeschuss. Granaten sind in dichter Folge am Brandenburger Tor, am Reichstag und bis hin zum Bahnhof Friedrichstraße eingeschlagen.
Von wo kommt der Beschuss?
Mein Führer, wir haben noch keine Meldung. Ich spreche gerade mit Koller.
Koller, geben Sie mir Koller. Koller. Sie wissen, dass Berlin unter Artilleriefeuer liegt. Hören Sie den Beschuss nicht?
So cool.
I'm calling back.
Okay. This time, let's say something.
Alright, so here is the next thing I did with this guitar. Here is the neck, which is not a very thick neck at all. It's pretty slim, to be honest with you. Right here is a tape line, masked off the headstock where it met the neck. And you can see it's kind of like a different color. There's no gloss finish on it anymore. I ended up taking some 600 and 1000 grit sandpaper to make the neck nice and smooth. And then when I come down to the bottom of the neck over here, as right here you can see there is a heel joint. There's no scarf joint on this guitar, but there is a heel joint over here. And I just masked it off around over here and did the same thing with the sandpaper all the way up and down the neck. And as you can see, this will be going into the next part of this video.
Okay. Hold on.
You suck!
Alright, so as you can see here, if you remember the original picture of this guitar, it had these top hat volume and tone controls on them, which I like them. They're okay, they're nice and all, but you know, I kind of want to have something that's going to pop a little bit more modern look. So I got some all parts knobs over here and put them on top of the Cts Pots, the kit that I purchased for this guitar, which I'm going to show you that right now. Alright, so these are the Cts Pots that I replaced the junk controls that came with this guitar with. These are mounted on a plastic panel, which is also, these holes are matched up with the actual Gibson traditional guitar perfectly, which you could probably use this as a template for drilling out your holes for your controls through your body, which that's what I'm going to do with this. Now, these pots were mounted to that plate. These are Cts Pots. Now I'm thinking that this orange drop cap is supposed to be on this pin over here on both volume controls, so I have to kind of look into that a little bit. But these were already pre-wired on this panel. That's how you buy it. And all you do is just, you know, unscrew them off that panel and put them inside of here. They come with a braided ground wire, so this has got a cloth insulation on there. And they come with the orange drop caps, the Cts Pots, which turn fucking amazing. They're nice and smooth. They're not really like hard to turn at all. Unlike the ones that came with the Chibson, is this here, which they did a real shitty soldering job, as you can see. They're kind of hard to turn and not very, very, very well. Well, upon moving their switch, the ground wire came completely off. And yeah, so that might be something you might want to look into to make sure that your wiring is pretty secure, soldered onto, you know, all the terminals. That way you don't pop off like this one just came right off, which means they probably didn't scratch up the surface, you know, this plating that's on these things. They didn't scratch it up or do anything with it. You just soldered to it, didn't get it hot enough, and the solder didn't stick. Usually what I do is I take a little emery board and kind of sand that a little bit. Anyways, yeah, so that's the cheap controls that come with the Chibson guitars, and just install something a lot better to it. So I'm going to get on to something else that I've noticed with these things, and a little bit about the bridge that comes on. So stay tuned for that too.
Voilà.
Alright, so we have a Chibson Tramatic Bridge. Not a big deal, looks like any other Tramatic bridge. There's no writing on the back of these, and as far as the plating goes, if I took some rubbing compound or some type of chrome polish to it, you know, I might start seeing the plating rub off a little bit on it, who knows. But the one thing that I don't like about these bridges is they got the wire that goes across, and I've used and I've seen them before, but these here are very, like, there's no pressure on this spring at all that goes across the tops of these screws. So as you're setting your intonation, you loosen up the string a little bit. Some people don't do it. I loosen it up a little bit and I'll adjust the intonation whichever way it's got to go. Sometimes these will start pulling backwards, and now they're sitting on an angle. And sometimes you don't notice it right away. Some people do, some people don't. I've noticed it right away because I'm always looking for a problem to check out to see if there's, you know, something's wrong. Tune it up, and this is sitting like this, and you're still not intonated. It's like, what the hell's going on? So then you look at the bridge, and you find that that saddle is kind of pushing. Now, these are directional, all right? They go one way, which means the screws face the pickup. Reason being is because these saddles here have a smaller V-cut than these saddles here. They're a little bit wider of a cut. So this could only go one way unless you take it all apart and flip the base around and put your saddles back on the way you want it. Now, I've been using a lot of these roller bridges. Been buying them off of eBay. They're not that expensive. They come with the sleeves. You really don't need the sleeve, but you do need the posts that are inside the mounting posts. So these basically will unscrew out of these sleeves and screw into any standard Epiphone style guitar. Anything that has a Tramatic bridge other than Gibson. Gibson's threads, I think, are a little bit different than these here. I'm not too sure. I believe the more expensive Gibsons are different thread, different post as well. But I haven't had any problems with these rollers, this Tramatic bridge. It's got more of a travel for intonation. There's no spring going across the top of the screws. They're mounted into the metal, the base. And also, if you could see the number on the back of it, if you end up taking an ESP guitar apart that has a Tramatic bridge, you will also see this letter on this writing on the back of it. So if it's good enough for ESP, you know, why not? They don't cost that much. The tailpiece on this is a little bit different than the tailpieces that I've normally been seeing on these Chibsons, the other two. This has a notch cut into, kind of indenting a little bit to where the holes are. So there's like an arch cut into it. The other Chibsons that I've got don't have this cut into it. And of course there's no writing on this thing. Just the molding, you know, molding marks. It's not bad. It's pretty good. The plating on it seems to be alright. You know, I'm sure if I, like I said, if I take some rubbing compound or something, I'll probably end up, you know, wearing out the plating. But for it's going on right now, this is not bad. And one thing you do have to watch out, and I've seen plenty of videos of this, is that when you remove your strings, sometimes these get stuck in the posts. One side might fit really nice, the other side might be kind of like tight, and there could be a couple of things. It could be a burr somewhere on here, or the shaft itself that this slides into is a little bit bigger than the one on the other side, making this a little bit tighter, or they fucked up and they drilled the hole in the wrong spot and it doesn't fit in properly because of that. So one thing to watch out for with these guys. Anyways, on to the next shit.
C'est trop l'air! Vermisst du die ganze Luft auf dem Führer? Voilà.
Alright, don't mind my mess that's on my counter over here. Like I said, this has kind of been a thing that's work in progress, and still kind of like working on things a little bit here and there, and trying to make this video at the same time. So first things first, got a couple other parts for it. Picked up a all parts output jack plate, which $7.99 is the price that's on it. I got it for $5. And all parts 3-way switch, which I'm going to have to change that cap to the cream colored one. $18.95 for everybody else. I got this for like $10. So kind of a good deal from the music store. Now, I've been ordering bone nuts off the internet, and I've been ordering them in packages of 2. And this will fit any Gibson style guitar. It's the same length as the neck is, just a little hair bigger, so you'll have to do a little bit of filing. But what's on these Chibsons is these plastic nuts right here. And this one here is a little bit on the tall side. The action height of at the first fret was a little bit high, but I'm hoping that I could still use the bone nut that I purchased, because we go over to the actual guitar itself, and I fit the bone nut in place. It's kind of pretty low, so I'm hoping I still have enough meat to where I can set the action height. They end up cutting the groove into the neck a little bit, and you know, so that's going to throw me off. Hopefully it doesn't throw me off by much.
Ketchup and one with mustard, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and pickles.
Are you ready to rock? Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please welcome bunghole recording artists, Beavis and Butthead!
I heard Houston loves to party. Are you ready to rock? Here's one off our new album. This is cool.
Play some Skinner, man!
Butthead, come here, quick! I found another dead rat. Hey,
You asswipe. I was about to have a wet dream.
Alright, so I have a multimeter out, and I have a pickup sitting here, and you all know what I'm going to be doing next. Checking ohms. So I have the ohm set on the multimeter, and I have the bridge pickup right here. That is the stock pickup for the Chibson guitar, and I want to kind of check to see what the ohms are of these pickups. So let's go ahead and connect this, and connect this. So the bridge pickup for the Chibson is a 10.64 ohms. So that's quite a bit. Now let's check the neck pickup for the Chibson. I gotta strip this wire a little bit more. Alright. So let's get the ground connected first. Doesn't really matter, but it's there, so I'm going to grab it. Stay. And let's see here. A 10.43 is what I'm getting off of the neck pickup. Now, I'm not using these pickups. These pickups are very, what they call microphonic. and they sound okay. Right now I have the Slash Les Paul, basically with the stock pickups that came. That whole guitar is basically stock. I just did a setup on it. That guitar will be given to a friend of mine. And now let's go into the Slash signature Seymour Duncan pickups. Now this one is a neck pickup. So let's kind of see what the neck pickup of this is going to bring. Nice braided wire. So I need to kind of like do this in a way that is not going to, because the way they have these wires stripped over here is kind of not good. There you go. Alright, so I'm going to shove this between. No, I guess I'm not going to be able to do that. Alright, so this is the neck pickup. And this is a 7.95. Now let's see what the bridge is going to be. Again, Seymour Duncan signature slashes. This is what the front looks like. Connect the ground. Put my hand out of the way. And the bridge is an 8.61. So they're not going to be as hot as the stock ones are, but I bet you they'll probably sound a hell of a lot better. So that's the stock pickups compared to, you know, something aftermarket. Let's see. Now what can we talk about? I don't know. Figure something out.
I told you, dumbass, 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 dumbass.
Alright, so that's about it with this Chibson guitar. All I have to do next is do a fret leveling on it, and then I can start putting everything back together again, and you know, we'll see how this thing sounds and how it goes. I still have to do a playing video of the other blue one, which I haven't really been doing it, but we'll see. See who this is. Hello?
Let's call it back.
Thanks a lot. Till next time, take it easy.
Are you some kind of butt ventriloquist?
I'm the great Cornholio! 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 I am Cornholio!
Beavis, shut up or I'll kick your ass.
Bunghole!
Fart knocker.
Bunghole!
Dillweed.
Butt wipe!
Ass munch.
Butthole!
Butt dumpling. Butt burglar. Butt munch. Butt wipe. Beavis, you wuss.
He said you're a wuss.
That guy's a wuss. Beavis, your balls are filthy.
Okay, follow me, girls.
I can't do this all day, dillweed.
Get these little bastards out of here!
I'm afraid that's all the time we have for Beavis and Butthead.